today is a piece of Lost Lagoon cardstock. We're making a horizontal card. And then I have all kinds of different pieces that we're going to be cutting with our cut and die machine. Some white for the inside. And lots of different pieces we're going to be die cutting today. So I will just start pulling them all over here. And get my die cutting machine out. And then we'll start cutting. Okay, base plate and one cutting plate down. And then you add paper and what you're cutting. First thing I'm going to do is cut some circles. Trying to even remember what paper I was going to use for what. Okay. I'm cutting a larger circle. Well, also circles are going to be the same. But I'm cutting it out of, well, let me just look. Cutting it out of this piece. So I'll put it on the other cutting plate, and remember your dies have to be completely covered, both top and bottom, to cut all the way through by both cutting plates. Okay, one circle done, and I have two more circles to do. So I'm trying to get some of the Lost Lagoon color that's up at just on one edge of these in the cutting area. There's another circle done. I have one more doing basically the same thing. There's our final circle. Okay. Now we get to start building all our other little pieces. our bag is going to be out of this darker purple today. A lot of things on the floor already. Here we have our bag piece. And since we're just putting it on the card, I don't need two of those. I only need one. I'm trying to decide which would look better for the straps. The dark brown or I think we're going to use the lighter one because most of our colors on this card are going to be on the lighter side. Slide that all the way through. Be using that and these. Pieces. And then we have a shell, which I plan to do on this strip if I can make it work. It appears it's going to work. And there we have the shell. Then I have a starfish. And I'm trying to decide what color I'm going to use for the newspaper and for the outside of the sunglasses. I think the starfish will look great there. And somewhere up there it is, we're going to put our sunscreen bottle right there. If you have moments where you're Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine doesn't want to send things through. I'm sorry, I'm distracted looking for my sunscreen bottle die. Let me set these back up and I will give you a clue. Put your bottom plate not quite all the way to the edge. And I lost my sunscreen bottle again. There it is. And then put your top plate all the way to the edge so that as you send it through, it will pinch it and make it a little bit easier for it to go. Then we have the sunglasses, and I want the lenses to be black. So that's what I'm going to make sure is on here as I send this through. That is not what I thought was going to happen. These are the... No, I don't know what. We're going to send it through the other way and see what comes with that other kind. Which one I need to do a different color. So I want the lenses black. Well, there's a black lens, and I didn't have my thing all the way, so I will have to snip this black lens out of there. There's a black lens. Okay, now what color do I want the rest of my sunglasses to be? Let's look. I think maybe they're blue. I would not want them to be orange or red or yellow. So we're just going to make them blue. And send it through like so. And there they are. And they're going to have black lenses here in a minute. And the last thing I want to do is send through the newspaper, or this is what we're going to stamp our sentiment on, and it leaves a space that you could write a little note, sign your name, whatever it is you want. And it was having some trouble going through, so I am going to do the trick. And it wants to slide around and not stay on my paper. I think that means we're done with die cutting. And now we're going to stamp and put everything together. The only stamping we're doing on this card are the sentiments. And last time I stamped first and then die cut. Well, I decided I would rather die cut and then try to stamp and see if that made any difference. So here we go. This says, nope, same one I picked last time and not the one I wanted. I want the one that says, newsflash, you're fabulous. So that is this one. And we are going to use the Lost Lagoon. And stamp it right up there in the top part of the newspaper. And then I want to use the Lost Lagoon to stamp our sentiment on the inside of our card. And so I'm saying relax and enjoy. At least I think that's what I'm saying. We will see. Yes. Relax and enjoy. And I'm going to add, you've earned it. Relax and enjoy. You earned it. The only other stamping I'm doing is I think I'm going to try to put a black sun on our sunscreen. Does that even fit? Sort of. You could tell that that's the sun on the sunscreen. Okay. I'm thinking I want to put a strip of our patterned paper along the bottom of this. I just have to find the right one. I think there was another one with better colors. I don't know if I have a strip long enough, so we are using this one. And cutting 3/4 inch strip. By 5 1/4. Gonna go ahead and glue that on there, and then we'll get busy putting the rest of the card together. Now, before I do any more tearing on this, we are going to put the circles on there. This one will go in the center. Oh no, that's actually really kind of cool. Think I am at this moment changing my mind about which direction I'm putting this and putting this right in the center. And then we're going to have one up there and one down here. then we're going to finish our tearing. Because as we tear the cardstock, we are also ending up tearing the circles into half circles so that they fit. And there we have what will be the front of the card. Okay, and now we're going to build our tote. I'm going to start by folding on the score lines. This cute little thing is what you need if you're going to make it an actual gift bag kind of thing. Grab the pieces and parts of the leather straps. Start gluing up those on. I keep saying I'm going to use the adhesive squares to help me when I do the adhesive sheets, when I do these leather straps, except then I don't remember. So we're just gonna glue. These were supposed to be on. Learn from my mistakes. You put the straps down first. Gonna have to do a little trimming of these as well. Where exactly do I want this? well, I didn't start the first one over far enough. So we're just gonna have to make this do and do some trimming and all that jazz. Okay. There it is with that kind of handle. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to look, but that's how it looks today. And we are going to, well, it basically covers up my entire circle, so it didn't matter which circle I chose to use. Okay. There it is. And we are going to put the newspaper inside it. And I cut all these things out knowing that I wasn't sure I was going to use them. But that's okay. We'll see. Here are my sunglasses. And I'm going to have them attached with some mini dimensionals hanging off the edge of the handle. And then I have my sunscreen. Which I just put glue on it, but now I'm not sure I even want to mess with it. So we're not going to mess with it. But we do have the shell and the starfish, and I want to mess with those a little bit. Okay. And our final step is to put this on the front. And I think I'm going to use dimensionals for this. I might only have many. Oh, I found some regular size ones. And I just took the paper off the edge. So, put the paper back on that edge, but I'm going to use this edge. Maybe, if I can get it. Now, if there's paper on that edge, till about here. Okay. Don't ever waste a section of your dimensionals. So, I'm putting my edges down, and then we're going to put it on the front. Get the newspaper back in here. Remember, this way you can write on. You can write on the inside. And here is our card for the day with our two-tone cardstock torn. And you open it up and it tells you to relax and enjoy. You earned it.